Hey, Jared. I see Mello, Maddie, and Samael, as well as Black Therion. Great to have all of you here. Man, I usually have to wait a little longer to get a bunch of little visitors. Hey, Serpent and Morpheus. Well, don't worry, Black Therion. I plan to go live a lot more frequently. Also, this is probably annoying at this point, but I've changed my mind about the update about the shorts. I'm gonna basically just post all of them as all my TikToks as shorts. Fuck it. Drown y'all in content. Hello, T-Man, Mario. You're welcome, Samael. Yeah, I was surprised how many of y'all just refuse to use TikTok now. Granted, I think the ownership change was very upsetting for everyone, including myself. But we could have just let China have it. I was fine with China having my data, really. Like, what are they going to do with it, really? Sell me things that I probably want to buy? Oh no. Hello there, Cuba. I'm in the southern U.S., the dirty South, as they call it. Serpent of Chaos used to use TikTok, but got tired of dealing with the nonsense. Yeah, it's a pretty... Witch Talk probably is the shittiest occult community I've ever been part of. So, if y'all wonder why it's so fucked up, it's partially because Witch Talk isn't just an occult community, it's also the Special Olympics of the online left. So you're dealing with all the problems that an occult community has and all the problems that the online left has. And the online left is extraordinarily toxic. There's one far left creator named ContraPoints here on YouTube. She literally got pushed into relapse and like a drug-fueled spiral just because of how fucked up the online left treated her, despite the fact that she was part of it. Another reason is people with borderline personality disorder are very highly overrepresented in Witch Talk. I don't have a personality disorder myself, but anecdotally, I'll tell you that, like, it seems like about 1/3 of the creators in Witch Talk have borderline and are open about it. 1/3 has borderline and only tells people they trust, and the other third, I assume, does not have it like me. Like, a lot of the drama I've been in really comes down to me refusing to fuck women with borderline. Not like I've never dated anyone with borderline, but like a lot of the problems come from me saying no to women with borderline. There's about like 4 BPD chicks I've had to reject who just went postal because of it. And I can't talk about it on TikTok because I'll get called a misogynist. Black Therion doesn't use TikTok either, but you could say my Witch Talk compilations are invaluable. You've sent it to various contacts even years ago for various bits of gnosis and rites. Glad to hear it. Witch Talk is toxic and deranged in ways Jared never thought possible. You aren't wrong, dude. So obviously every male satanic creator has had to deal with being like legit stalked by unhinged women. All of my stalkers came from Witch Talk except one. There's only two women who are currently stalking me. And of course, female satanic creators have their own issues that I can't really speak on. Oh God, yes, I remember Witch Talk, boy. Fuck that. Talk about a recipe for disaster, yeah. Can I talk about Shagara, the rain entity from one of my old vids? Yes. So Shagara is a goddess of death and chaos that is venerated by the Order of the Nine Angles. Now, I've been able to trace back the origins of a few entities that the O9A venerates. For example, Soraktonos is one of their deities. I did some research and found out that Soraktonos is just a name for Apollo, like a recorded name for Apollo. Davkina, that's just a name for the Sumerian goddess who is said to have given birth to Marduk. But Shagara was one that I could not find. Until a Japanese generational witch, Japanese by race, not by country, who went by Eye of Star on YouTube, made a video about her. So she was raised by witches to be a witch herself. And her Japanese family taught her about Shagara. They told her that Shagara was a death goddess and her name means autumn rain. So I stumble across Eye of Star's video. And I see her say, she said that she had always been told that the name means autumn rain, but she couldn't find proof of that. So I did some digging on my own and found a Japanese word, shigare, which means autumn rain. So I was able to verify her family tradition by my own research, and she was able to teach me about the origin of Shagara. Her family will often refer to her sometimes as Shugra or Shagura. But she's a good entity to work with for personal mental wellness. I started going to therapy recently, and one of the first wellness techniques I taught was originally shown to me by Shagara. So the therapist verified her teaching. Great spirit for curse work. She's very, very sadistic. She's also very good at forcing people to reveal who they truly are. She does, the O9A literature says that she likes to show her presence with stench. I've only had that happen a couple times. And the stench she used to get my attention was, it was a nostalgic stench that reminded me of a pretty shameful time in my life, Probably as a part of healing. But in regards to the Nazis who work with her, she said, some people never get to see my rain. They only smell the stench. Something like that effect. Crazy girls and probably guys are the best fucks. But damn, the rest of us are too much. I wish I could argue with you. Yes, I've encountered a poltergeist. In fact, J.S. Garrett's old house, not the one he lives in now, but the one before it, was actually haunted by the spirit of the former owner. So, when I was alone in that house, I was taking shots of tequila. And all of a sudden, I see an object nowhere near me just fling off a table. Just out of nowhere. There was no one but me, and I was nowhere near the object. I was like, what the fuck? So I told JS about it when he got back, and he said, oh, if you take shots with him in the house, he wants you to pour one out for him. Is it wrong to eat ghosts with vampirism? Depends on the ghost. Does this thing deserve to be destroyed? Is it threatening you or someone you care about, Hey, Travis. Thank you for reminding everyone to like the stream, T-Man. Eye of Star is Japanese? Yep. Yeah, she lives in the Netherlands, but she's Japanese by race. Is it true that the Anunnaki created humans through genetic engineering to mine gold for them? I would say no. We existed before those entities came to us. The extraterrestrials called Anunnaki. They did create hybrids with us, though. Like, there's a lot of people walking around with Anunnaki and DNA. Hey, Dark Life. No, Azazel does not take years of life from those who work with him. Also, I don't think I can turn subtitles on. Yep, there's no button for that. A list of top 3 strongest entities. I'm not going to count Akrayoth, aka God itself. But the list I'll give is Sephiroth, Sanetas, and Sanesatas. Obviously, Akrayoth is more powerful than them, but, you know, it doesn't work with people. Oh, be very careful. I have essays about all 3 of those entities, and they do kill most of the people who try to work with them. Black Therion says, a very dear friend of mine is being menaced in his home by an unknown malicious entities, and it seems to be scaring his girlfriend's kids. Banishing doesn't seem to do much. Any advice? Yes, go there and summon the Goetic demon Rom and say, this entity is an offering from us to you. Rom will then torture the entity to death and consume it. One former friend of mine had a ritual chamber, and he was getting, like, haunted and, like, possessed by a poltergeist. That's how I got rid of it. How would I interpret deities appearing right before you go to sleep? That could be the same reason that some deities like to appear to me when I'm in the bathroom, because that's when my mind is unoccupied and I'm sitting in silence. That's when it's easy for them to get my attention. Spingrave says, thanks for that. Shigara is someone I kept close with you. You have dreams of rain and torment. Shigara is the only entity from the O9A current that you work with since leaving it. She's a good choice. You're starting Liber Leonta Nemea. How was my experience with the Nemean Lion? Any tips? You won't find much difference between working with him and working with any other demonic god. He's very much a Clefothic being, which really surprised me. He's immensely powerful. Like, I was really impressed. Jared said, Eye of Star's energy is very intoxicating. Even just listening to her voice and seeing her on the video, it's crazy, whatever power she has. Yeah, she's a real powerful magician. Hey, Pervert Fire. Why is Akrayoth God itself? Because it's the first being. Does Hecate have a dragon form? Probably. Wait, yeah, I think she has recorded dragon forms. Ever meet a skinwalker? No. I've done in-person mentorship before. Keyword in-person. I don't have any method for how to house a spirit in an athame. Hey, Chalus. I had close contact with Azazel. Will I make a video about him on YouTube? Do I not already have some? I know I have an essay about him. One sec. I'm going to pull something up on my computer. Give me one sec. I got to check my memory is right. I want to look at epithets of Hecate. I'm pretty sure. Jesus. Epithets of Hecate. Okay. Okay. So one name of Hecate is Dracana, which can be translated as either serpent or dragon. Another name of hers is Toro Dracana, meaning bull dragon, or half bull, half serpent. So yeah, looks like she has a dragon form. One that is recorded traditionally, albeit not spoken about much. Have I used any of the services offered by the Satania Coven? No. I have used their ritual music. Dark Life, yes. The ritual to murmur should work too. I know virtually nothing about Native American magic. Coetting does. He was taught by some Navajo and some Paiutes, mostly Navajo to my understanding. So obviously the idea of a white person engaging in Native American spirituality is very taboo. So I was kind of skeptical. So what happened was, after we did a ritual that incorporated Navajo spirituality, I saw the ghost of a Native American appear. I couldn't tell which tribe it was, but I could sense that it wasn't Navajo. So I was like, okay. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, okay, I need to ask Coetting which tribe lived on this land. And the ghost said, nope, don't ask him. Don't even mention seeing me. I was like, okay, odd. And then shortly afterwards, out of the blue, Coetting mentions that he lives by a Paiute reservation. So that was getting him to say that was the ghost's way of showing me that that Coetting is indeed capable of connecting to Native American spirituality. I have done a video on Azazel. It's just been a while. Good. Last night I did 3 ritual clients and the conjuration of the fire god for myself. What invocations of Meazurian spirits are on your Patreon? Most of the content I've released is about Crescent. I've got a decent amount of spells that work with the Tower of the Abyss as well. And every month I release a new batch of all-purpose whispers for different Meazurian spirits. So when I say all-purpose whispers, it's like the ones in the left hand. Eventually I'll cover everything and all the spirits and profane seals. Hi, Morgan. Yeah, atrophy will come out eventually. Didn't I release like a Meazurian technique that calls on Hecate and Zazazel for higher vampirism? Which spirit is best for healing someone's trauma, which affects their behavior, and to awaken their inner power? Marchosias is good for healing trauma. I don't know if he's the best for it. There's no way to say that. Nikarleth is good for trauma healing too. Hello there, Michelle. Matthew says, hey, VK, thanks for all you do and your responsiveness on Patreon. You're welcome. Do I know Black Rights on YouTube have a lot of videos from my old YouTube videos? Yes, I get asked about that somewhat regularly. I do know that a channel called Black Rights reposts my old videos. To be clear, I'm completely fine with him doing that. I've said that publicly multiple times. He's just, obviously Orly Stewart and Yuri McGlinchey were trying to censor my work. Black Rights started reposting my old content because of their efforts to silence me. So I appreciate it. How do you know which tower will be your chosen tower? You work with all of them until you figure out. Jared will join my Patreon again. You might have to order Invocations of Matrogal and Eldraoth. All right. Oracle of Lilith energy is great too, if that's what you guys are looking for. Could I talk about the effects of the hymn? I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Who's the most dangerous demon I've worked with? I'm not sure. See, we have 33 current viewers. I appreciate you all being here. Maybe one day I'll have to release some information about Hecate's dragon aspect. Right now, this month and next month's Patreon content are already pre-written and scheduled for release. But I'll look into it eventually. Can I give you more gnosis about Sarkatanas? Not yet. Fuck. Matthew did reach out to Chavajoth, but he has questions about them. But I can keep it to Patreon if needed. You can ask here. So when working with Santa Muerte, have you ever had any problems trying to have her in rituals with infernals? No. The closest thing I've had to a problem is when I was going to call on the Mayor's Orion spirit in Mordecai for something, and she said no. Call on me instead. I'm your patroness for the death current. Like, that's the closest thing I've had to a problem, was her saying, nah, call on me for that instead. If any of y'all know who Janelle Longoria is, she has a YouTube channel and a TikTok account that focuses on Santa Muerte. She works with demons. Santa Muerte is extremely popular among Satanists. S. Connolly, she's technically a demonolator, but S. Connolly works with Santa Muerte too. So does J.D. Temple. So does Siren Black. Does Hecate have a spider aspect? Not that I know of. Best demon for clearing financial debts? Not sure. For finance stuff, Azazel is good for getting jobs. Mephistopheles is good at, helping you start a business in a really creative way, like getting you the resources you need to start one. Sabnock is good for improving like a pre-existent business. Mammon is good for making a business model. Have I worked with Valifor? Yeah. It's been a long time though, but I do have an essay about him. He never complained about me working with other entities. What was the name of the 72 Goetia as one singularity? I called it the Goetiacon. A friend of mine channeled the name Palm Hadox for it. When giving offerings, can you do it on the same altar even though it's different kinds of spirits? Yes. Yeah, it is cold down here. If you're from the north, you probably wouldn't consider it cold, but we're pussies, dude. When I was back when I was in college, we had to shut down basically everything in the state because we got 2 inches of snow. Like, people were stuck on the interstate for days over 2 inches of snow. Do you know what it's like to explain that to my fucking Canadian friends? You need some new satanic merch. I don't think I'm going to release any more merch. I didn't make much money off of it anyways. The last shirt, what was it? The last shirt I had released was one making fun of Papa Smoke. I kept saying, like, take the top hat off when I was roasting him. So people asked me to put it on a t-shirt. So I had Sarah Petroselli put it on a t-shirt, and then no one bought it. Like, this was y'all's idea! I'm kidding. You gave a very abrupt offering to Chavajoth on Halloween, your entire weekend, and then on has been great. Glad to hear it. Bune's Cobra aspect is very good for vampirism and work with nature spirits. What spirit would I recommend to quiet down a place? I guess I'd go with one of the Saturnian deities to, like, bind people from being loud as fuck. I did order Indy Blackwood's new book. Also, when am I doing a live collab with him? I haven't reached out to him yet. My next collab will be collabing. You remember my Freighter Jinkum channel? Forgot about that. Salacia is pronounced Salacia. It's Silacia. Silacia. Hey, fluoxetine. You occasionally feel like the Nardwar of VK lore. That makes you the Vard lore. Took me a second to remember who Nardwar is. Yeah, he's an interviewer who like gives people crazy gifts that like only like someone who knows way too much about them would know to get them. What should you expect with Shavajoth? They were super overwhelming when you made an offering of them. I found Shavajoth really friendly, but yeah, scary too, just because of what he's like. What's Lucifer's Reaper aspect? That is an aspect he takes for death magic. Nardwar is clearly CIA. Agent Nard. Yo, imagine him just dropping character like Agent Nardwar reporting for duty. Found 3 ounces of cocaine on Travis Scott's person. Somebody told you not to use a Lucifer for cursing? I don't know why they would say that. I mean, I don't think I've called it him for cursing, but I don't see why that would be an issue. Jared says Lucifer is super well-rounded and can help with almost everything. See, that's what I was thinking. I don't do much dream work. When spirits come to be in my dreams, they just do that of their own free will. You're so lost with my path, man. Everyone has phases like that. When just starting working with different spirits and they begin approaching us, how do you keep up with them all? It's okay to go an extended period of time without working with an entity you like. They're very, very patient. Like, people often ask me, like, hey, I basically neglected my practice for an entire couple months. I'm worried the spirits will be mad when I approach them. And I always say, no, they won't. They're patient. How do you approach or work with your guardian angel? Evocation, meditation, invocation. But there's not like a specific way to do it. Yes, I did order Blackwood's new book. You haven't stopped pulling on your beard like a tweaker the whole time? I never do. At least not when I'm live. I really fidget with it even more when I'm live. Hey, LMAO. Does most of all the whispers and chants really just intent? I do think they have intrinsic magical power. You want to see spirits that would mess with daily life? Not that much. One of the components to seeing a spirit is like oftentimes just having them like go out of their way to present themselves to you. So you can live a pretty undisturbed life while being able to see spirits. How I've been lately? How's my mental health been? Good. The beard thing is probably a stem. Yeah, it could be. The beard fidgeting is part of the power of the couch current. I remember I saw one comment like, I wish my man touched me the way VK touches his beard. Do I think Iblis might hold contempt for a practitioner that used to be very Muslim? No. When you offered him incense, you felt no hatred, more welcoming, if anything. Pretty weird since I cursed him a lot. Oh, you didn't know any better. Jared's ordering Indy Blackwood's book this Friday. Awesome. You love Scholomance, but you never checked out his other two. This will be the first two of his books that I've read. LMAO, I do not know about the silencing letters. I know that comes from Curtis Joseph. When am I doing that live with ND? My next live is with co-wedding. I said I might reach out to ND. I'm going to get the co-wedding one out of the way first. What was the first spirit I saw look like? It looked like, I was like an emo 16-year-old, so I saw what looked like a badass demonic emo kid. Turned out to be Gargophius. How does El fit amongst the other gods? I'm not sure. You've been able to smell the dead lately. You wouldn't wish that on anyone. Your hearing is also coming back, though, and it's a nice beard. Thank you. Ah, Lord Couch has been teaching you the beard chakra. Jared says Scholomance was hard to put down. He was compelled to read it. Hell yeah. Oh, sorry, LMAO. I read that book forever ago. How do I do my chants in a rhythmic monotone? Like, Satanas, Satanas. Don't overthink it. It's easy. Was that when I had evoked Gargophius into a windshield? No. I started seeing Gargophius very shortly after I opened my third eye. I did not knowingly summon her, and I did not know she was a demon. I thought she was a parasite. If you have Nephilimic DNA, does that mean you have a greater chance of becoming a demon? Not that I know of. Are the tunnels a set avatars of Azaratze? No, they're avatars of a different metagod named Sithrakor. That's Sythrakor. I do have an essay about her. The secret beard chakra is high magic. Yes, it is. I love how I got accused of being a drug addict and everyone's just laughing it off. Indy was on the L with Alchemist channel recently. It was pretty good. Oh, good to know. I love how L is like the one person on that channel whose name is not in the fucking username. All hail the couch current indeed. What are the ways to ascend in the afterlife? I don't understand the question. Black Therion doesn't do drugs. He is drugs. That reminds me of a Chase Atlantic lyric. I don't do drugs, I abuse them. You took the fall for drug use for us. Do I see